Hi there, welcome to this video where I'm going to give you a tour of the Marella Discovery 2 cruise ship. This week we're on board the Marella Discovery 2 and it's the 5th time we've been on a Marella cruise, meaning that we've been on every ship in their fleet. If you're interested in any of the other ships, then I'll put links down below in the description. But in this video I'm going to give you a tour of the ship and show you all the facilities that it has on offer, and I'm going to tell you why I really enjoy my cruising. Here at the back of the ship is 47 degrees and it's a main waiter-served restaurant on board ship and is included in the all-inclusive package, which is even better. Here you'll find a variety of different foods and the menu changes every night, and it's a great place to come and have a little bit more of an elaborate meal. Also on the second floor of the main restaurant is Gallery 47. Here you'll find two different menus. There's an Italian themed menu and there's also Piccadilly's, which is an English-based menu. You'll also find the 3 specialty restaurants. Now bear in mind these are chargeable, but there's the Sushi Bar. You'll also find Kora La, which is more Asian themed. And then finally we've got the Surf and Turf Steakhouse. Now I'll show you one of the meals we had in the Surf and Turf, and it was an amazing experience. I have to say how attentive the staff were at all times. Now we got started with a selection of bread and then we moved on to an amuse-bouche just to get our appetite going. The starters were next, and so my wife had some battered chicken that was really nice and I had some French onion soup. When it came time for the mains, my wife had a tuna steak and I had a sirloin steak cooked to perfection, and along that you get a choice of 2 sides each. Then on to the dessert, an absolutely lovely New York cheesecake and some specialty coffee to finish. One of the main features on Marella cruise ships are these colourful beach huts just here that I'm sitting in at the moment. So you can come here and drink your drink from the pool deck bar or just shelter from the sun, but you can also grab a snack from the snack shack behind me. So this is somewhere that if you're sunbathing on the pool deck, you can grab something light to eat, such as a burger, some chips, maybe a sandwich or a salad. Eat your food here and then get straight back to your sunbathing. Here on deck 9 is Islands, which is a main buffet restaurant. At the moment it's set up for breakfast, so let's go and take a look. As we go into the buffet, we're greeted first of all by a selection of fruit just here, and so just looking around I can see pineapple and melon, and then there's some parfait, and then there's a selection of cereals, so all of your favourites like cornflakes, Rice Krispies and Weetabix. On the left hand side just over here we've got a drink station, so there's hot drink and there's cold drink as well, so we've got coffee and we've got fruit juices. And then on this side just over here we've got a selection of breads and pastries as well, so there's croissants and muffins and lots of other interesting delicacies. Now of course, with this being a British based cruise, you'd expect a full breakfast, and here you'll find everything that you want, from beans to hash browns to scrambled eggs, tomatoes, bacon and sausages. Over on this side there's a selection of cheese and cold meats, and then there's also some plum tomatoes and fried bread. And then at lunchtime and in the evenings the menu completely changes again. Every night it's different, and so you'll find a range of different foods, and quite often they have a themed night, so they could be Mexican or British or even American. Then you'll find some cheese and also lots of interesting sweets and desserts to finish off your meal, and there's always a lovely warm pudding with custard. Then just over here we'll find Christian, who's ready to take your order and make an omelette with lots of different ingredients available. You just choose what you want in your omelette, take a buzzer, and within a few minutes everything's ready to take away. And then at lunchtime and in the evening, this station turns into a carvery, so you'll find lots of meats like beef, chicken or even ribs. One thing I really like about the buffet on this ship is that when you've chosen it, you can come and eat it against these lovely windows, which gives you a really great view out over wherever you're docked at the time. Here on deck 6 you'll find the coffee port, and at the coffee port it's always very busy, but you can get a selection of coffees, ice cream and chocolates, but do be aware that they are not free, they are part of the premium all-inclusive package. Otherwise, if you're not on that package, you do have to pay for them. But I've just ordered myself a latte, and so I'm going to enjoy that before I carry on with the video. I'm stood now in the spectacular centerpiece of the ship, which is the Atrium. It goes from deck 4 all the way up to deck 10. Here you'll find the Atrium Bar, which is a great place to come and relax and maybe listen to a live musician while you're having a drink. Here in the live room there's another bar, so you can come here for a drink or listen to the many live musicians that play throughout the ship. So there's this yellow piano here with stools around it, should there be a pianist, but just over there there's a stage as well that quite often houses one of the many bands.
Then on the final night, all the bands came together in one massive band jam, and they were even joined by the cruise director Matt, and it was a really enjoyable night.
In the corner of the live room there is a casino, so to my left there are some card tables, behind me there is a roulette table, and then around the edge of this room there are some electronic gaming machines. I'm stood on the dance floor now in the Squid and Anchor, which is one of the main bars on board ship, and you can find it at the front of deck 5. Now normally it's not this quiet, it's usually a real hub of activity. In fact, last night when we came in here we could barely even find a seat, it was so busy. So there's lots going on, and as well as having your drink, there are also lots of things to watch. There are usually quizzes taking place, then there are also live musicians, and the other night we even had a silent disco, which is great fun if you've never tried one before, because you get a set of headphones and then there are 2 DJs playing rival tracks, so you can choose which type of music you prefer to dance to, and it's great fun. Here on deck 11 you'll find bar 11, which is a really lovely place to come and sit and have a drink right on the top of the ship, overlooking where we're about to head for. And the other night we had a really interesting smoky cocktail. Finding your way about on board a big ship like this might seem a little bit daunting, but there are lots of things to help you. So to start with, there are models of the ship on the central stairwell that show you exactly where you are and give you highlights of what's on every deck. Secondly, there's a handy sign by the side of every lift saying what's on this deck and what's on the other decks as well. Then finally, all over the ship there are these interactive touchscreens that start off by giving you a map of the ship that tell you exactly where you are, but also they also provide a wealth of other information, so you can touch them and bring up cruise news, and this gives you lots of information about what's going on the ship. So we can look at today's timetable, and this will tell you all the things that are going on board ship. Also, if we go home, then it will give you details about shore excursions. You can find out menu options. Lots of information is available from these touchscreens. With your smartphone, you can access all of this information because it's duplicated on the TUI Navigate app. So all you need to do is connect to the ship's Wi-Fi for free. You won't be able to access the internet, but you can access the Navigate app, and here you get everything that you see on these screens, plus you can access things like your account, you can book excursions or places in the spa. You can also find out what's going on in port or just browse the menus at your leisure rather than standing in the corridor. On deck 5 surrounding the atrium, there are several facilities that you'll find useful. Firstly, there's reception, and then there's destination services, so if you want to book an excursion or get some information about a port of call, this is the place to come. And then finally, on deck 5 around the atrium, there's the photo gallery, and so here you can come and talk to one of the photographers that's on board ship, but if they've taken your photos somewhere around the ship during the week, you can view them here.
Now you do have the option to upgrade your drinks package. It costs £89 per person at the time of filming, and it gives you access to better quality wines, beers and spirits, also canned drinks and coffees from the coffee port.
Here on deck 10 is a space that's specifically designed for 12 to 17-year-olds. It's called the Hideout, and in here you'll find air hockey, there's beanbags, they'll be playing music during the day, and it's a place for those younger ones just to hang out together. But also here on deck 10 is the M Club, so this is a place where there are organised activities throughout the day, organised by the onboard staff for the younger children, and there's also a baby room as well. Next to the Hideout on deck 10 is the Gamer Zone. So in here there are quite a few consoles, so you pick up a controller from reception, and then there are preloaded games on these consoles, so you've got lots to choose from. One thing that might sound a little mundane, but if you've got mobility issues, then this could be a big thing to you. Everywhere on the ship there are lots of toilets, so you never have to go far. And there's always lifts very close by, so if you need to change floors to get to a toilet, there's going to be no problem.
What I'm going to do next is I'm going to show you a taster of the cabins on board ship. Now I have got a more extensive video that you can check out afterwards, but this is an inside cabin. This is the cabin that we stayed in, which is why I've got great access to it. But we find that an inside cabin meets our needs because all we do is sleep in the cabin. There was still plenty of room, and we've got lots of storage space, as you can see here. Inside this wardrobe there is a safe, so every room also has a safe. And then we've got a bathroom that's quite small, but it does the job. One thing to bear in mind is that there are limited plug sockets in the room. In our room we had 2 American plug sockets and 2 European plug sockets, so make sure that you take your adapters. If you feel like you'd prefer some natural light in your cabin, then you can upgrade to an outside cabin. Now this is virtually identical to the cabin that I've just shown you, the one that we stayed in. The only difference is it's got the square porthole window, but the storage space and the bathroom are identical. Obviously the main difference is you get the advantage of natural light during the daytime. In 2024, all of the balcony cabins and above received a refurbishment, so this cabin looks different than the ones we've seen before. Now out here there is a balcony, obviously, with 2 chairs and a table, so you can sit and have your drinks in your room. Then there is a sofa bed and a double bed that can be converted into 2 twins. Inside the bathroom it's almost the same, but it's a little bit bigger, and there is a glass shower door. While on board I did film in lots of different rooms, so I've made a second video that contains a bigger variety of cabins and suites. At the moment we're looking at an executive suite, which is very spacious and luxurious, but in that other video what I'll do is I'll give some indications of how much it costs to upgrade to these cabin options, and this is just a teaser to show what to expect from some of the more elaborate suites. When the ship's not in port, the Broad Street shops are open, so if you want a gift for yourself or to take home for a friend or a family member, there's lots of options available, from perfume to clothing, handbags and jewellery. There is also a watch expert on hand to give you advice on your watch purchases, and then every day outside the shops you'll find a sale taking place, so there's lots of bargains to be had. These watches were £5. Then there is duty-free alcohol and cigarettes that you can take home with you. And then finally there's a souvenir shop, so there's lots of different Marella branded items to remember your time on board the cruise. There's chocolates and crisps, and a really useful area is the toiletries section, so if something runs out or you've forgotten something, here's where you can get it. While you're on board, if you feel like pampering yourself, you can visit the Ocean Spa. They've got lots of different treatments available, so I'm going to take you through some of them now. If you fancy your teeth whitened, they can do that for you. There is a male barbering station that is very much like a Turkish barber, where you can get a shave and a facial. If you fancy a wash and blow dry ready for that special occasion, such as a dress to impress night, then visit the hair station. At the nail station, not only do they work on your nails, but they can also give you a hand massage. Then if you fancy a Swedish massage or deep tissue massage or even a seaweed wrap, there are lots of treatment rooms. There's a couples room where you can go with your significant other, or a single room.
In here we have our female steam rooms and saunas. I just showed you guys the males just now. So like I just mentioned, both the steam rooms and the saunas are absolutely complimentary. So you can come in any time from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. with no extra cost. And then we do have amazing towels. We'll show you guys our towels there. We have a shower for you. So yeah, everything is absolutely included. We also have lockers where you can keep your valuables locked inside while you just relax for yourself.
Another complimentary facility on board ship is the gym. So inside the gym, you'll find lots of different exercise machines, a range of cardio machines and weight training machines. So if you fancy burning off a few of those extra pounds that you've put on, this is where you can come.
Now closing off our amazing spa tour, outside here we have our adult veranda. So I call this the quiet side, because if you'd like a nice quiet relaxing day for you, then you can just grab yourself a sunbed, take a nice peaceful nap.
Here at the back of Deck 9 is a really lovely area known as the Glass House. Now it's completely covered by a glass roof which gives it its name, but in here there is a swimming pool and there's a couple of whirlpools as well. There are lots of sun loungers, so that's great. If it's a little bit windy or it's a cooler day, you can come and sit in here and you've got no problem about staying warm. But there's also a bar in here.
And also there's a little restaurant that serves Italian type food.
If you like lots of action and fun, the pool deck is a place for you because there's always lots of activity. But if you prefer somewhere a little bit quieter, then here on Deck 4 is a boat deck. You still get all the benefits of the weather and the sun, but it's always a lot quieter, and there's plenty of sun lounges and tables to sit on. And just at the moment, just over my right hand shoulder, the sun is rising and it's beautifully peaceful and calm. And last night, as we pulled out of Mykonos, we sat here on the boat deck and watched the Greek islands sail by, and it was just mesmerizing. Here on the top of Deck 10, you can run all the way around the top of the deck, and if you do 4 laps, that's equivalent to 1 mile. If you fancy a less energetic pastime, at the back of Deck 10, there's a mini golf course. If thrill seeking is more what you're after, then there's always the climbing wall. Here on Deck 9 we've got the main pool deck. Lots of activities take place here. On the first night there'll be a sail and shine party where all the crew come out and welcome the newcomers aboard. There's a big screen where they show movies regularly. There is often live bands playing on the stage, and of course don't forget there's one great big pool and 2 whirlpools on the side. In the corner of the pool deck you'll find a table tennis table and a dartboard as well, and there are quite often little competitions taking place, or you can just go and help yourself to the equipment and come and have a little game. We're now stood in the Broadway Show Lounge, which can be found at the front of Deck 4. In here you can watch one of the many shows put on by the very talented showcast. There are lots of comfortable seats, places for your drinks, and it's a really enjoyable experience.
The show team put on a range of different shows covering many different genres, and it includes singing and dancing. Some of the shows you might see include movie themes, show tunes, rock themes, or even one that is set in an Irish pub. And then on the last night of the cruise, the show team put on a show to say farewell to all of the guests, and the place is packed out with people, but they're also joined by representatives from every department on the ship, right down from housekeeping to the chefs to the people who run the bars. And it's a really emotional end to the cruise, and it's a great way for all the guests to show their appreciation to all of the staff.
Now, I hope you've enjoyed that video, and if you have, don't forget that I've got lots of other videos on all the other Marella cruise ships, so I'll put links down below in the description so you can go and check those out. And you can also do me a really big favour by sharing this video and liking it, that way lots more people see it. But all that's left now is to say have a great cruise, stay safe, and I'll see you soon.